Yo, it's the Rap Radar Podcast. My name is B-Dot.
Elliot Wilson.
Elliot, good to have you back in the city, man.
Back in New York City, man.
For a good reason.
Hey, man, it's weird, though, because he's a West Coast guy. But we out East because this artist out here is tearing down the Garden right now.
Yes, sir. SZA.
SZA's been tearing down. SZA's on the show?
It's not SZA. You got something better than that. Punch.
Punch. There we go.
There
TDE.
TDE's
Terrance Punch Henderson is. Yo, we had him on Rap Radio Podcast in the old days.
Early
right?
days, right.
Yeah, but finally, man. He got an artist with that number one album for what, 10 weeks?
10 weeks, man. They're killing the charts, making history almost week by week.
Plus, everybody want to know what life after Kendrick looks like for TDE. What's the future hold? You know what I'm saying? So it was time, man. To get him on that couch. He's gonna be on that couch right there.
Yes, sir. I think the future's looking bright.
The future's definitely looking bright, man. You know, Rap Radar Podcast. We're not playing, man.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Yeah, Rap Radar Podcast. Elliot Wilson.
My name is B-Dot.
B-Dot, what's up, baby?
Feeling great.
Looks like we have an old friend here,
yes,
man.
Sir.
This guy stirs it up on the internet for many years, man.
Billboard called him the executive of the week a couple weeks ago. But I know him as the president of TDE, Terrance Punch Henderson. Terrance.
What's happening?
Punch,
What's happening?
Welcome back on the program.
Man, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it only took you to have 10 weeks number one album to artist, get you back on our platform, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy.
How'd you do it, Punch, man? How'd you shut everybody up and deliver a SZA album that I think even exceeded many expectations?
We just made the music. You know what I mean? We didn't give in to the pressure of people asking for it and saying when we should put it out. Like as a unit and as a team, we know when the time is right, when it's ready. So it just, it was ready at the right time and we mapped it out from there.
Do you feel vindicated now with the success of the album?
No. Nah, I don't look for validation from nobody really. It's about keeping the integrity of the music. You know what I mean? And I feel we made a great project and we put it out and that was it. It's not look at us, we did it. We proved all of y'all wrong. Like, it's not the thing. It's about making great music.
But the fans never got under your skin because those SZA fans
They go hard.
They were going hard.
They need a name. They don't have a name like the Barbs or anything, right? We gotta give them a name.
Yeah, it's Camp SZA.
Oh, Camp SZA. Okay, my bad. Camp SZA. Camp SZA be on you, man.
But you know what? It's all motivated out of love. You know what I mean? Like I always say, she said some stuff that touched some people.
Yeah.
So they want it. Like it resonated with something in their life. So I never really take it personal. I like to have fun and go back and forth with them sometimes.
So what exactly is Punch's role with a SZA album? Like, is it a constant thing where she's sending you songs and you're giving your input? Like, how would you describe what your role is on? And when you look back at SOS, like, what role do you play specifically in it?
That's one of the roles I play where she actually recorded most of it by herself. Like I come to the studio maybe early and we'll talk, talk about what's gonna happen for the day, and then I'll leave. And leave her there with the engineer and she'll cook up and I might come back later or maybe the next day and listen to the record. And we just, my job was to pretty much make an album out of the songs. So amongst other things.
Yeah, because I know how serious you are about sequencing.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the track list at first, before I heard it was like, oh, there's a lot of songs on this album.
Right.
That was surprising. Like for somebody who I know you're very meticulous about sequencing. Like, can you speak on that? Like sequencing an album that has a lot of tracks on it. It's probably a little more of a challenge, right?
I wanted 12. I wanted 12 to 14. I feel like that's enough as long as you get the point across of what you're trying to say in the music and the story of the album. But it's a new day as well. You know what I mean? We have streaming, so we don't have to stick to those same old rules that we always had. Yeah. You know what I mean? But early on in the process, I'm like, nah, we got to do 14. That's it. But, with her, she wanted to add more. Like, she feel like she was gone for so long. She wanted to get the fans, their worth. So we decided on the 23. And we made a story like out of the whole thing. Like if you listen to it, like it goes up and down in emotion, it goes up and down sonically. So it's a whole cohesive thing and to blend all of those different genres, which was tough. Yeah. But I think we did a good job. I like it.
Yeah. Is it more fun sequencing the R&B album versus the rap albums?
It's all the same to me. Because I really look for the story and what's trying to be painted as a whole. So I love it. Like either way, whether it's singing or whether it's rapping, whatever, it's all music.
Gotcha.
We mentioned the rock stuff. Like she definitely showed her range, right, on this record. Like, talk about that. Like, was that something you knew from jump that she wanted to do with the project, or did that just kind of just develop in the process?
Well, no, she always done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of it don't get highlighted like other records would. You know what I mean? Like she did Drew Barrymore on CTRL. She also had Prom on there. You know what I mean? Even before that, like other stuff, she always bended the genre. So it wasn't nothing new. It was just pushing it further. Like she doing full rap records now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, so
She got them bars, man.
got them going on.
Are you proud of them bars,
Yeah.
man?
I feel like your
I swear.
fingerprints are on there, are they?
that's all her.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. She got like an EP's worth of full rap records.
Wow.
Like all the way out, no singing.
Wow.
So
Cause I like the flow on Blind a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's getting
Right.
busy on that. Are you constructive with the bars as well?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. If I don't get something like, yeah, what you mean when you said this? Like, how does that make sense with this part? And the whole thing, we go back and forth. For sure.
What'd you think when you heard Smoking on X-Pac?
It's nuts. You know what I mean? Like she really went in. But it fits though. It fits her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it was something that she was trying to experiment on and it was full left field.
Yeah.
Like it's all in flow of who she is.
Speaking of the raps, man, how did you acquire this ODB vocals on Forgiveness?
It was crazy. Rodney Jerkins, it was footage that he had of ODB. And I guess the story was they was in LA at the studio and Rodney was playing beats and ODB was in another room. I guess he was in the hallway and heard the beats and he went in and he just started freestyling in Rodney's session.
Yeah. He's known for like crashing sessions and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So at some point Rodney picked up his camera and started filming him.
Wow.
So when Rodney made the beat for Forgiveness, I guess he heard ODB, he remembered that, and he tried to place it up under there. So that's how that came about.
So it was just automatic, like, oh, we're gonna put that on the joint.
Nah, absolutely. When he first did it, like the idea was like, yeah, it's crazy, and it's still going in conjunction with her Wu-Tang thing. Like her name is SZA.
SZA, right?
We had RZA do the promo for the first album for CTRL. So like it would only be right and make sense.
Full circle moment, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of full circle moments, you know, with this project. Like I saw that you tweet this morning that you met her at you met her in 2011, and you remember seeing her perform in Brooklyn Steel for only 50 to 75 people. Fast forward now, we're doing Madison Square Garden.
It's nuts, right?
How meaningful is that for you?
It's crazy. This is really a full circle moment. You know what I mean? Like, even that show when I'm talking about at Brooklyn Steel, I surprised her popping up. I didn't tell her I was coming because I didn't want her to be nervous or whatever. So when I got there and seen her perform, and then I'm like, yo, this is a diamond in the rough for sure. So then to go through all the years and now it's Madison Square Garden sold out, like it's nuts.
What was it like last night?
I was insane. It was absolutely
When you was in
insane.
the crowd, like how did you peep it?
I watched from the suite. Yeah.
It's only right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down with the people though in the next couple shows, get the full effect of it.
Right.
But I like to look over the whole production and see, you know what I mean, what we put together, how it's been received by the people.
Yeah.
The people's going crazy. Like as soon as the lights drop, it went nuts. It's pandemonium.
Well, speaking of that reception, man, number one album, I'm sure you want to achieve that, but like to have this 10 weeks, like
Yeah.
I feel like in real time I see you on social, it's like you're like, oh man, like 7 weeks, 8 weeks, like
Yeah.
like it blows. It's like, did anybody have that level of expectation? Did you allow yourself to have that, or like, you know?
I mean, I could be cool and say yeah, but I wouldn't be telling you the truth.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had expectations for it to be very successful. I thought we'd do a few weeks, number one, but 10, like that's crazy.
Right.
And to see all of the like legendary albums that is passing in the process, like it's crazy. It's
Yeah, they
beyond.
mentioned Beyonce, and one of the accolades she broke, and then you had said that fittingly, Beyonce was one of the first people of merit to reach out and work with her, right?
Absolutely.
Can you speak on that? That's with the Feeling Myself, right? Back in the day?
Yeah, that was 2014. You know, they had called her in to write, because Beyonce was working on her stuff or whatever. So she came in, did a bunch of songs. We built a bond with Beyonce and Jay and the whole thing. And Feeling Myself came out of that batch. So like that was a super dope experience. She looked up to Beyonce, of course.
Yeah.
You said it's crazy that Shirt is the #1 on urban and rhythmic radio.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised by that?
I wasn't really surprised, kind of inside thing. Cause I was actually taking a shot at her because she didn't like Shirt being out first.
Wow.
And she blamed it on me. So now I hit #1 on radio. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
It seems like you know what you're talking about, huh?
Kinda. I like to think so.
Right.
Yeah.
She's her biggest critic for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's like honed in on everything that's going on with her process, with her album dropping, with her songs out. And she felt like Shirt was, the snippet had been out for too long. You know what I mean? But my thought thinking on it was, all right, it's been out. Let's just put that out, drop the video, and then we'll go from there. Like it's not even a thing of, you know, your lead single, your this and that. Like it's a whole different ballgame now.
And even Kill Bill is doing well as well.
Yeah, that's crazy too. Like I knew it'd go, but I didn't know it was gonna go like that. Like it's nuts. Like even when she played it in the garden,
Oh.
got all these kids out there screaming, like, "Kill my ex."
Just killed by X.
Yes.
Yeah, I even stepped it up with the visuals. You have Vivica Vox in the video.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She always been super visual though. Like she's hands on with all of her music videos. So she's there with the directors, like during the treatment process and everything, giving input. So pretty much most of them are co-directed by her.
But Punch, how do you do it still with her fandom? Because I saw somewhere it's like, you know how fans are. She always be teasing the song, so she'll give a snippet out, and they want that record on the album too. Like I feel like a lot of times, you know, you can't please everybody. Like how do you deal with that?
With the snippets, like that's something that we've been doing since we first started working together.
Yeah.
And it's we'll drop a song and then preview the next one just to get people excited for what's to come. You know what I mean? And that turned into like a whole thing to where like, you know, it just builds up the anticipation so crazy now. And we just continue with it. So even with the visuals, we'll drop a snippet of another song with the video.
All right, so when did the album feel complete? Because it feels like y'all was sitting on it for a while though, right?
Nah.
Okay.
We was changing stuff after it dropped.
All different mixes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small things we wouldn't catch.
So like fixing the plane while it's still in the air.
Absolutely. 100%. But not the way it happened was, all right, so we dropped in CTRL in 2017. So the end of 2017, she was touring. 2018, she was touring. And we did the championship tour. We did, you know what I mean, a lot of festival runs. So she didn't officially start working on the next album until maybe the end of 2019. 2020 come, we get the pandemic, everything shut down.
Right.
So I would say she didn't get into a real groove until 2021.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But it seemed like a longer thing, but we don't count the pandemic for those 2 years.
Right.
She had went to Hawaii to record, and she just hit a groove out there. Knocked out about 7-8 songs. I'm like, oh, okay. This is where we going now. We got it.
What are your personal favorites on the album?
It fluctuates, of course, but I still love the intro, SOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, that just sets the tone for the rest of the record. You know what I mean? And to me, it's speaking to a lot of critics, a lot of different artists, a lot of people in general. Like, you know what I mean?
Punch likes that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, too. That's my thing. But now I set the tone for what the rest of the album is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then of course it's Nobody Gets Me, it's Gone Girl, like so many different records.
How do you feel like the album stacks against Control?
You know what? I got out of comparing in that way because it'll never be right. Like the time when she made Control, like what she ate when she was doing it, the air she was breathing, like what was going on in her life, like all of that is different. But I think the quality stands up for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How was she adjusting with the success? Because you see like sometimes she'll get into an artist bag where she's kind of like doesn't want to show up and do this or whatever XYZ. Like now with all the attention and this newfound like even more exposure, like growth, like how do you think she's adjusting to it?
I think she's adjusting a lot better now. I think it's finally starting to sit in as to what's going on and who she is.
Yeah.
Like for the longest, I don't feel she connected who SZA is to Solana. But I think now she's finally starting to see it, understand. Like, and that I think that really comes with the tour mostly, because you're actually seeing these live people and you're seeing them respond to you and that energy exchange. So she's handling it a way lot better now.
Yeah, you've seen her from infants, from the jump. From 2011, like I mentioned, you met her at CMJ here in New York City, and you heard songs that her friend was listening to. What were some of those songs that impressed you to want to do business with her?
I think what I heard was it was a song Bad. It was a song Country that was on SZA Run, which was actually called SZA SOS Run at that time.
Okay.
When she changed it, the whole thing. But even back then, like I recognized the lyricism for one. I heard it, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what this is. It's kind of the stuff we do. Like, it makes sense. And then the melodies and all of this she come up with was insane. So I forgot your question.
I was gonna say, what songs that you? That's cool. But when you presented the music to Top, was he easily impressed as well?
Yeah, he liked her voice right away.
Okay,
for sure. But the way I did it was like I wanted to get everybody else involved first before I let Top hear it. So first thing, I think Musa was the first person I let hear it. Then I let Dave hear some records, and I think Dot after that. So then when I went to Top, he was like, yeah, this hard. He was like, you let Musa hear it? I'm like, yeah, I let Musa hear it already.
Yeah, checked all the boxes.
He's like, what about Dave and Dot and them? I'm like, yeah, they heard it too, they like it too. And he was like, what about, you seen her perform yet? Like, I'm flying out to Brooklyn next week. She got a show, so I'm gonna check it out then. So yeah, he was on board from jump, but he wanted to know what everybody else's opinion was too.
So it was like a year-long process, a couple months that it happened?
Maybe went a month when we actually really decided to work together. So like I said, we met in 2011.
Yeah.
And we just kept in touch since then, like sending songs and giving my opinion and helping with her projects and all of that. So in 2013, we were just having a conversation. She was like, yo, you should just manage me.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I ain't consider it like that before because she already had a situation, management and all of that. So I was just more on some consulting type stuff. Once she said that, it was a no-brainer.
It makes sense because that's when I met her at South by Southwest 2013 when you guys had the house.
Yeah.
Elliot did the photo shoot for Respect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, she was at the shoot?
Yeah, she was there.
That's crazy.
She was sitting by the lake all by herself. And I was like, yo, Punch, who's that girl? He was like, I don't know. Go talk to her.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
That's funny.
Well, speaking of how crazy is it, like, obviously that's those Black Hippie days, and you think TDE, these lyrical spitted rappers now, like your flagship artist, your top artist is R&B singer.
Yeah.
What's that adjustment like in terms of?
I think it's natural. You know what I mean? Because she been building at the same time with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not really much of a difference at this point. Like when she first came on, yeah, it was super different.
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with a female artist. But now it's like, it's just a natural progression.
speaking of progression, like you are the president of TDE. You're also almost like A&R. You're like everything. One man band man. Like, what are your like day-to-day roles as the president of the label?
Man, it varies day to day, really.
Yeah.
There's no one, like, we wasn't built on the corporate structure for how things should go. Like, we get up and see what needs to be done, and we doing it. It don't matter what it is. Everybody. Like, I always tell a story. It was one show J-Rock had. Top was recording the show. I was in the back working merch. Dave was DJing and handing out posters at the same time. So, it's like we just do it. Whatever needs to be done, we get it done.
Right.
I mean, we got a lot more structure now. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been doing it, we know what to expect. But I don't know. My whole thing is, I'm in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest contribution to the whole thing. Like, I'm listening to records and giving advice and input and finding producers and the whole nine. So I'll say my responsibility is more of creative.
Right.
Even though I do all of the business stuff too, but creative thing's my thing.
Yeah, it's like you're still hands-on. Even before you came in, it was like, yo, does Punch even have an assistant at this point? He was like, nah. He gets his own calls.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. But it's, we so much bigger now, though.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be hands-on with every single artist how I was. So that's one of the major changes as we grew. So we have a lot more people doing more things.
Other than trying to murder him on one of the tracks, what was your involvement with the Absoul's Hebert album?
It was the same thing. Just kind of going back and forth with him on records, getting that whole thing out. You know, he was specific in this. He wanted more input than usual. You know what I mean? Because he was feeling like, all right, I normally don't take advice when I'm doing this thing. That's what I've been doing. So now I want everybody's input. You know what I mean? I'm relinquishing all power.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what that process.
I think he said
is.
Soundwave gave him like some real constructive criticism at
Yeah.
the time, and then he kind of pivoted and made some changes.
Yep. Yeah. Nah, definitely. Yeah, he just wanted the input of the team. You know what I'm saying? The whole machine.
You and Absoul be making good music together, man.
Yeah. It's my guys.
Yeah.
Clash of the Titans.
Do you guys have to do a record anytime you're in the studio?
Yeah. But that's something he said, like, from this first project that he did. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on every project I ever do. So that's intentional and on purpose.
Was that a Good Man? Was that a session together? Like, what do you remember?
Nah, what's funny is he had sent me the record maybe 6 months before I actually did it. Like, he sent it and I listened to him, like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it. 6 months later, one day he was in the studio, he was like, yo, I need you gonna do the record? I'm like, resend it to me. And he sent it. I wrote it in probably 15 minutes, literally.
Wow.
And went in and recorded and sent it back. So that's how that whole process was.
You had that one line. You said Jay told you why bother with peasants.
Yeah.
Something about Jay-Z. What did you mean by that?
I hit him one time. It was some rappers where I said some stuff. And I hit him like, yo, what you think of this? And that was his response. I'm not gonna say who it was. But his whole thing was like, I'll waste your time. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Keep pushing. I got something greater going.
So how do you feel like when people complain online that say TDE doesn't release enough music as some of you guys' peers, or, you know, the output isn't as frequent as other labels? What are your thoughts on that?
It's basic economics to me. You know what I mean? If you flood the market, it's gonna be oversaturated. And it's not gonna be as special when it happens. Our thing is always quality over quantity. I mean, if you make a quality product, people gonna keep coming back to it. Like, that's just human beings.
Right.
In general. Like, it might seem like you got something going, some momentum going when you constantly dropping, but you wearing yourself thin. People gonna get tired of that and it's gonna be over. So that's why our thing is always, quality over quantity. No disrespect to anybody who do it the other way.
So this almost seems like an old school model in this day and age, right? Because streaming kind of makes you feel like you're supposed to just constantly flood it out, refresh, and here it is. So is it a tough stand to stay that way, or the whole team's kind of always aligned that we got to keep doing it the way we've done it?
Nah, you gotta stay strong. I remember hearing a Jay-Z interview a while ago when he was talking about that. He said he's not under nobody's timeline.
Oh yeah, rushing this process. No,
Right,
rush my process.
Yeah, so it make perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But I understand the pressure though when it feel like you got to put something out because everything's moving so fast.
Yeah.
But if it's quality and timeless, it stays.
But even though like the business has changed, since you guys first entered.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, you still don't feel like the need to like.
No, he's not doing it, B-Dot.
No, he's not doing it.
Nah, because
You're not getting Schoolboy Q yet, buddy. Is that what you want?
No, I saw J-Rock's in the studio.
yeah, everybody working. But the thing though with that is people don't really change that much. How we get things change for sure, but who we are, our emotions, our feelings, the whole thing, and we still people. It's still gonna remain the same.
Yeah, fair enough. But I know J-Rock is in the studio as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, he finishing up his project right now as we speak.
Okay.
Schoolboy Q?
Yeah.
He said we let the rapper. What was the line he had about letting the rappers in? He wants his credit, man. He getting that punch talk on that. What he say in that joint?
Yeah, that's right.
Q's a golfer now, man. Does he still rap?
Can you beat him in golf, Punch?
Me? Nah, I never golfed a day in my life. That's a part of him just evolving as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like discovering new things that he's into and passionate about. He's just growing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're growing too, man. Expanding your talents. You have a room full of mirrors.
Absolutely.
Talk about your collective. Why isn't that a TDE act?
Well, it's tough because I'm TDE.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a part of the collective, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's not a rush. You know what I mean? But the collective is it's myself. It's Daylight. It's Ichiban Don, aka Willie B. It's an early riser and Lyric Michelle.
And Nick Grant?
Nah, Nick is not actually a part of it no more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You kicked him out the group or something?
The rap battle went wrong.
Nah, I think it was just maybe we'll say creative differences.
It's fair.
I mean, he got his own thing going, whatever it is he into.
It was on you when it was one day. It was something about SZA was a delay, and then you dropped a record. It was just like it was on your head.
Killing me.
Like, this guy's rapping. That's why you don't have no SZA album yet, man.
Jesus Christ. It's how I go though. You know what I mean? When it's in high demand. But now the Room Full of Mirrors thing, like that's like my passion project. It feel good to be able to have a creative outlet and platform like that. We can just make records and everybody's in the film and directing and acting and the whole thing. So it's like a whole creative space.
So you're gonna create another project?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a bunch of records now. Like we've been working since the top of the year. Went back in, and plus everybody's individual projects too.
Speaking of which, Punch Electronica, we ever get some solo out, man? Where are these records, man? In the hard drive somewhere, man. Where's this album, man?
It's tough when you don't have a deadline.
Oh man, Punch.
Yeah.
You had a listening session like 3 years ago, man.
Pandemic came.
I'm playing the pandemic, man.
It was funny. I was just looking at the pictures and the videos from that time. But now I'm definitely gonna put it out for sure. But like I said, it's difficult when you really don't have a deadline when you got to create it for yourself.
Yeah.
Plus you got the responsibility of all of these other artists as well. It's like I could be, all right, I'm gonna put mine out now, then something to come up on somebody else, then my focus will shift to that.
Right.
And I'm predicting 12 to 14 songs, right? 12 songs.
Might be more now.
22.
It was at 15 last time I looked at it.
I remember this. He did a whole session.
You had a whole listening session. It was good music too, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. I kind of remember now. Yeah, I didn't get to go to it, but yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
So at that point, you had thought about putting it out? It was really coming
Yeah,
out?
I was about to drop it then, but I was gonna wait to 2020 to do it Then literally in March, everything shut down.
Yeah. Does it bother you when people kind of criticize you for rapping when you're still like an executive?
Not at all.
Punch, nothing bothers you.
That don't at all. I always keep it in perspective as to what things really are. You know what I mean? Where we come from, things we survived and went through. Like, we're talking about music.
Right.
Like that'll never change in my perspective. So you can go at me all day long on the Twitter.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I love following you on Twitter because you have to have a lot of perspectives. Like you said something one time about when did the music or the personalities dominate the music, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see that a lot now. Like everybody is almost influencers. You know what I mean? A lot of the artists, like,
Yeah.
you can get branding deals and the whole thing just off of your social media following. And the music been taking a back seat to me. So I was like, I'm just curious, when did this happen? Like, because I love music. Like, that's my thing. But now it's just about who got the most followers.
But it's got to feel rewarding with SZA, because I think you also said about, like, you know, there's a lack of superstars, right? Or in this thing, but now to see her kind of ascend, right? Like, it's clearly a success story of somebody's career ascending in front of us.
And that was definitely rewarding. You know what I mean? Her success, and then to do this arena tour. Like, to me, I think that solidified her as one of those artists, for sure.
Has the superstar changed?
Yeah, because I think the appeal of the superstar was you couldn't get close to him at first. You know what I mean? There was a lot of mystery there. And then you will see him in certain spots. Now everybody is everywhere because of how we feel we have to do social media. But, you know what I mean? But beyond the superstar thing, like just the artist maintaining his mystery is super important. And it's about the quality of and the control. Like if you look at somebody like Frank Ocean, like you'll never see him nowhere.
Right.
But his name is held in high regard because of that product he put out, and then he go away. You know what I mean? You need time to miss the artist. Now everybody is feel touchable and regular.
So like in regards to SZA being an R&B artist, like we don't have too many R&B superstars anymore. Like why do you think she's been able to separate herself from the pack?
I think it's the honesty in her music first. You know what I mean? If you raw with your emotions and you saying things that people can relate to and feel, like that's gonna take you a long way. I think a lot of people was missing that to start. You know what I mean? And then, you know, she make great music on top of that. Like it just sounds good. It feel good. You know what I mean? And it caters to whatever emotion you might be going through. So I think that's really what separates her. She's not trying to do nobody else. You know what I mean? If you look, like it's, who do you compare her with before her? You know what I mean? Not saying that, you know, she's the originator of a certain thing, but it's very distinctive from a lot of artists.
Yeah. But then you guys also have another young lady on the label now, Doechii
Absolutely.
from Florida.
Yeah.
Like what was so attractive about her that made you want to do business with?
Well, that was, that came through Musa. Musa brought her in.
Okay.
And when he played me the records, like the talent was undeniable. You know what I mean? She do it all. She rap, sing, do the dance thing, big production. Like she's super talented. There's no limits on where she can go.
Yeah. Barack Obama's tapped in. Her song Persuasive made the summer playlist last year.
Come on, you think Obama coming up with that?
No one believes that Obama listens to the music that he
They
puts on
think
his
it's
playlist.
the daughters. They think it's the daughters.
I'll take that. They got taste.
So at this point, what makes you want to, you know, do business with a new artist? Like, are you guys still actively looking for new talent?
I never actively looked. I let it come to me. You know what I mean? Like I never just said I'm gonna find this new artist, but I'll be looking around just in general, and something might just pop out. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta think. Literally, I've only signed SZA.
Wow.
Wow.
You know what I
Really?
mean? Like me personally.
You personally, wow.
Yeah. And after that, the next thing was the Room Full of Mirrors.
Wow.
So it shows you how picky I am.
And it's crazy because she feels like a veteran, but like you told me, this is only her sophomore album.
Literally her second major album.
Yeah.
It's still in there. That's what's crazy.
It's nuts. But you also, I mean, outside of music, in 2018, you guys started doing TDE Sports, right? Are you still doing that, or?
You know what? That's the top question.
No. Get Top on the phone.
Yeah. He could tell you about that in more detail than I could.
Okay.
Cause I never really got involved with that. Like when he was starting to do that, I was still deep into the music stuff.
Would you guys ever sign someone outside of the R&B or hip hop space, like TD Rock or K-pop or?
Absolutely. We might got something to cut now.
Oh shit! Spill the beans, Punch.
K-pop?
In due time.
K-pop?
But yeah, it's no we're not keeping it just to that. Like whatever sounds good, whatever feels good. I mean, we'll definitely explore it.
Kendrick Lamar, man, he's no longer on the label.
Yeah.
PG Lang.
Right. Young kid flying.
Good kick fly. What do you think about the success that he's made, stepping on his own?
I think it's amazing. You know what I mean? To watch somebody as a kid, like as a 16, 17-year-old kid, come into the studio and develop to where he is now and then venturing out and being his own businessman. Like, I think that's what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see that in him and Dave Free early on?
Yeah, for sure. Because they have ideas. You know what I mean? And with the ideas, all you got to do is execute on those ideas. So, like Kendrick is a kid whose mind never stopped working. So yeah, of course, I've seen that for them way early on.
What did you think of Mr. Morales? It seemed like it had a very polarizing, reaction.
That's a tough album. It's tough because I feel like you have to be going through those things that he's talking about because it's so specific to feel it to his max. You know what I mean? Like if you there in that vibe, in that mind state, then yeah, you're gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in another place, then you might not frequent it as much. But I think it was his, I think that was the album that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For himself.
Yeah.
So I call it a selfish album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's really
Yeah.
about his feelings, his inner thoughts, like specifically for him. I mean, other albums spoke for people in general, but this one to me was for him.
Yeah, how do you look specific? I think, I'm curious through the years, like how much involvement you had with his albums. I know Section 80, you're listed as executive producer. Like, from Good Kid on, like, can you speak on how you view those albums and what was your involvement throughout that sort of his growth?
My involvement has always been the same up until Mr. Morale, really. You know what I mean? I come in, we constantly talking about the record, how we want the record to sound, to everything about the whole thing. Like, to give you an example, like on To Pimp a Butterfly, the skit at the end when he reading Pac, the poem or whatever, like I wrote that. So the reason I wrote it was because he was lost in the album at this point. He was like, yo, could you write something for me to sum everything up? You know what I mean, of the album.
Yeah.
So that's what I wrote, and he ended up using it on the thing. So that's what my involvement has been.
So overall view of the project.
For sure.
So is it crazy to hear this album without you involved with it for the first time?
Yeah, it was wild.
You got to be a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Nah, it was crazy. It was a different experience for sure.
How did you do? Did you set up a studio somewhere? Did you make it like
We actually, when it dropped, because I could have went by the studio numerous times, but I decided all right, I'm gonna just sit back. So we was in the studio when it dropped, just cut it on, just played it top to bottom.
Were you surprised by any of the stories that he told on the project?
Nah, not surprised.
Okay.
But I don't know. I liked it initially when I first heard it. You know what I mean? I got it. It made sense to me.
Yeah.
Where he was going, it was full out therapy for him.
How do you feel like that stacks up against all the previous projects?
I know it's different spaces. You know what I mean? Different time. I always described it as Good Kid was a classic. To Pimp a Butterfly was a masterpiece, and Damn was a blockbuster. You know what I'm
I think it was a Pulitzer.
Right. I don't know. It's so they all so different to me that you can't really compare them. You know what I mean? So I don't even put that thought into it.
Yeah.
What's your memories of making Damn? I feel like Damn was the record where it's like, because it was, to me, there was always a little murmuring like, well, Kendrick don't make something you could really play in the club, like Humble or whatever type record. And then like he kind of shut everybody off. Was that kind of the intent? Somewhat?
Absolutely. We wanted anthems, and that was the whole point. So then you got Loyalty. You got what's the one that went diamond?
The one that went diamond.
Humble.
Yeah, Humble. You know what I mean? All those are like anthem type records.
DNA is my shit though.
DNA,
yeah.
All that. Yeah, that was the mindset though to really make anthems that everybody could really sing along to.
Do you feel like even for the newer artists that they have to live up to the expectation of like Kendrick and SZA, or you just feel like they have to just
No
do what
pressure.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like they do, but that don't mean that they don't feel that pressure. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just naturally set based on everything that happened and what we've done. So, I mean, but I never hold a artist to somebody else's standards because they completely different people. Like I just try to figure out where they want to go and help them get to that spot.
Right. I mean, because if SZA's doing MSG and someone else is doing a 300 capacity space.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's the grind. That's the whole process right there.
Yeah.
But you said that that's also what you love even with Room Full of Mirrors. Like you love that process of kind of just building it
Absolutely.
from the top. Like why is that so rewarding to you, that feeling of like building something from?
Because it's so much discovery. You know what I mean? Like it's that teaching part where somebody didn't know something at all, and then it's clicking to them like, oh, this is how you do this. This is like I just love that feeling. That exchange to me is the whole thing. It's like usually sometimes when artists get to a certain point, it's like, I mean, you know what to do. You coached, so get it done.
Right.
Like even like when you talk about Kendrick in the last album, it's like it was nothing I could really provide to him at that point in making an album.
It's like a made guy at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you know what it is. Like it's on you.
You was at the Grammys too in your black tee.
Yeah, absolutely.
No button up, Punch.
Oh man,
You're never gonna see Punch in the
I'm
button.
not dressing up going to these people's establishments. I'm going as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you took that picture with Jay and Dave Free and Kendrick. That was really dope seeing you guys collective. Because people think on the internet that you guys
Yeah, it's an issue.
is an issue or something.
Yeah, nah. You gonna have that though because that's usually how it goes. You know what I'm saying? If people finish their business and move on to different things, people automatically feel it's a problem. But that's family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's family. It's never an issue for somebody to go out and try to build their own thing. Never.
Yeah. So the family's staying tight, man.
Absolutely.
How many new CD acts do we have now? What's the guy, Vaughn? What's his name?
Ray Vaughn.
Ray Vaughn.
Ray Vaughn.
We got new music from Sir coming on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir coming too.
Chasing Summer, man.
You like that one?
That was a classic.
Yeah, I love that album too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is cooking though, man. And it's right there, like almost done. I think Q might be done. Don't quote me on it though.
Yeah.
So we got new music from Absoul already in the cooker, out right now.
Absolutely.
J Rock's coming soon.
Yeah.
Ray Vaughn, Sir. You missing anybody else?
Reason cooking.
Reason.
Reason
Yes.
stay in the lab.
Zach
Yes, sir.
cooking. Lance just dropped something. So everybody is in a great space and working.
How's Isaiah Rashad? We had that, I don't even know what to call it, that invasion of privacy that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Is he in a good space still?
I think it's tough. You know what I mean? When something like that happens, like you're always gonna have to, figure out how to deal with it. But he definitely has his high moments and he has his moments when he's not, really feeling it. So as of now though, I think he's in a great space. He on tour in the
Right.
UK.
I think it was very dope the way you stood up for him and backed him, and
Yeah.
like when the controversy hits or whatever. It's like I feel like
Absolutely. That's family, you know what I mean? I'm saying whatever people do with their personal business is their personal business. I don't, I don't have no bearing on what we doing.
Still business as usual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we going to get on any more TDE Christmases at Nickerson Gardens?
I think we're gonna do it this year.
Okay.
It's been tough with COVID.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like even last year, there was certain restrictions that they wanted on it that we didn't feel like, it was the right time to do it again. But I think it's wide open now. So
Yeah.
you gonna come out or what? Y'all coming?
I'm scared.
You on the West Coast too? You gotta come.
Got no excuse now, right? You had to come out the SUV.
I've never been to Watts too, so I got to come through.
You should come.
You had Rihanna there once upon a time.
Yeah, Rihanna came.
Rihanna came through, right?
You'll be safe.
Yeah, right?
Nah,
Should
that
be
was
good.
dope. That was epic.
Yeah, you got Zach Randolph getting arrested outside there. Remember?
Zach got arrested?
Remember that? Long story.
Not guilty.
Hey man, no comment.
And then one day, Punch will get SZA on the program, right? You know what I'm saying? I know my wife gets all the interviews, Danielle Smith. He said to me, his Punch straight thing, like, how's it feel losing the interview to your wife?
Oh, man.
Typical Punch, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out there, yo.
Now I'm gonna try to get her on there, man. But interviews not really her thing like that.
Absolutely.
So
What do you think of the Times piece? Did you read it? New York Times?
yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, Danielle did a great job.
Yeah,
No, thank
For
you,
sure.
brother.
absolutely.
Killed it. We would do a good job too if we ever get on.
I think we will as well. But in the meantime, we got to go to MSG, man. You ready to get your tickets,
Are
Elliot?
we going tonight?
We're going tonight, man.
Punch's house?
Do it. Let's
Whose
go.
house? SZA's house?
We should have did this interview there.
Oh,
man.
Now you tell us.
See, when he comes to New York, he gets his control verse on. He acts out of control when he's in New York. He wants to party. He wants to go everywhere.
So I guess, you used to call Kendrick Lamar King of New York.
Absolutely.
Does that mean that SZA's the queen of New York right now?
For sure. Easy call.
Easy call.
Well, thank you, Punch, man. Good to see you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Likewise. Appreciate you guys, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, Rap Radar Podcast.
Yeah.